The only obstacle that could block this legislation is the same type of toxic political games that have poisoned Washington, D.C., where denying a political opponent a win has become more important than getting things done for the people they represent. We are better than that in Kansas. Let's not overcomplicate this.
That's Governor Laura Kelly in her State of the State address Tuesday night, calling for lawmakers of both parties to pass a bill totally eliminating the grocery sales tax, one of the highest taxes of its kind in the country. It's something Republicans have wanted to do in the past, but will they let it happen with a Democrat in the governor's office? Let's discuss with our journalist roundtable this week. I'm joined by two veterans of Kansas politics, KMBC 9 News political reporter Michael Mahoney and Jim McLean, senior correspondent and chief political reporter for the Kansas News Service. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about this tax cut push from Governor Kelly. She says 13 words is all she needs from the state legislature. A clean bill is the goal, meaning nothing else tacked on. We just heard from Senator Kelly Warren, who said that there are lots of things to look at. Jim, how do you see this playing out?
Well, I think it's going to be tough for Governor Kelly to get the clean bill that she wants by Kansas Day, no less. She said she would sign it if lawmakers would send it to her. As soon as it hit her desk, she said she would sign it. But in House Speaker Ron Reichman and Kelly Warren on your broadcast pretty much signal that they have other plans. They certainly don't oppose reducing the sales tax, but as Speaker Reichman put it, they want to ratchet it down over time. And then they have other plans for that money, frankly. It's a $3 billion surplus right now piled up in the state treasury. And they want to shore up the state retirement fund for state employees. And they also want to bank some of that money. They don't want to spend it all, claiming that much of it is federal COVID relief money and that it would be unwise simply to go on a spending spree at this point. So the governor certainly is going to push for the elimination of the sales tax. My guess is she's got polling that indicates it's very popular with voters. But Republicans, I think, are going to push back.
Mahoney, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Jim on this. When he makes a reference to Kansas Day, that's the day that Kansas was admitted into the Union. It's January the 29th, so it's 2 weeks away, a little bit less than that. It's an awfully ambitious schedule. I don't think she'll be able to achieve it. As Jim indicated, the Republicans are talking about ratcheting down in a responsible way other sales taxes as well. We heard Senator Warren talk about the possibility of adding other tax cuts to it. And as Jim knows, and a lot of Kansans know, Kelly has insisted on a clean bill, as you said, Cody. Nothing else on it. She's not going to get that. And quite frankly, this was her opening salvo of her reelection campaign. She noted that this was the fourth State of the State speech of her first term.
Right.
And this legislative session is all going to be about setting the stage for the Derek Schmidt, Laura Kelly race for governor in the fall.
Right, and that's a good point. Do Republicans let the governor get any sort of win here in an election year?
Well, not if they can help it, probably. That's just the way politics is these days. And you heard the governor reference that very thing in the cut that you played, talking about the poisonous politics of Washington, D.C., arriving here in Topeka. They don't want to seem obvious about it. If there's something that has popular support among the public, they want to be seen as working with the governor to get something done. However, I do think they're going to be reluctant to give her what we would call a very big win heading into that election, as Mike said, against her probable Republican opponent, Attorney General Derek Schmidt.
Mahoney, we know Medicaid expansion is also very important to Democrats, as Senator Sykes just told us and Governor Kelly alluded to Tuesday night. States around Kansas have expanded or are in the process of expanding. What's the holdup? How do you see this working?
It's the simple political reluctance of the Republican Party in the state of Kansas to go along with this. They believe it's too expensive. They also think that there are questions about whether or not the state can administer it. Governor Kelly tried to tie Medicaid expansion into a medical marijuana reform bill last year. That went nowhere. She had a possible deal on the table a couple of years ago, but it's gone away. I would be surprised to see Medicaid expansion make it through this session of the legislature. Very surprised.
All right, we'll leave it at there for this week. Michael Mahoney, Jim McLean, thanks so much.